Welcome back, adventurers, to this, a cast of players. It has been 1 year since we have all been able to sit here together.
So nice to be back.
Yes, do battle. But due to the easing of restrictions here in the UK, we are now able to have multiple people in the room together. And I cannot, and we are actually allowed to hug. It's in the guidelines.
It's so nice.
It's a nice time.
Nice?
Oh, I might cry.
So, yeah. Wow, actually the gravity of what just happened just kind of hit me a little bit there for a second.
Big deal.
It's a big deal. It's a big time. Cool. So look, this is episode 19. We would normally have a recap as to what happened in the previous episode. Unfortunately, that footage is lost in the annals of time. But what isn't lost is episode 18. And we suggest that you go back and watch that before continuing on, just to put you in the right frame of mind and back into the adventure. And if this is the first time you're joining us, please go back to episode 1, because none of it will make any sense to you if you do not.
Yes, we are deep into the story.
We are deep into the story, and it is now time to continue.
Yes.
Now I will just take a little step back in time. You are all actually in the middle of combat, would you believe? It's been on pause for a year.
Yep.
Please be gentle with us. It's been a long time.
We have all of our life back though, right? We
No.
have all of our wins back. Thanks very much.
No, well, so what has happened is this. You have been fighting this creature, which turned out to be Mumbabi's father. Haraxis has been building an army of these demon-like creatures to fight, he says, Baal. But you get the impression that that might not be the only thing he would be fighting. But he gave you a choice. You could let him continue his work so that you would have an army prepared to fight against the coming of this evil god, or he would kill you. You chose death.
I chose life.
Wow,
The ending of his.
very good. As it begins! So, the creature has just fallen to the ground. Haraxis, seeing this, just says, enough. And he kind of snaps his fingers and he disappears before all of you. He reappears at the entrance to his room, to this giant library you've been fighting in. He bows, the doors open behind him, and he walks out. What do you do?
That orb that he was looking into, I'm going to go pick it up.
Sure. Okay. You pick it up. At the moment, it's like a cold stone to you, but that is it.
I'm going to put it in my pack.
You put it in your pack. Write that down.
Classic Rin.
Write down Haraxis's orb.
It must be over encumbered by now.
You can no longer run.
I flick the slick off of my axe, and without saying anything to the group, assuming that this guy needs to be put down, I make a run towards the doors that
Very
he just went
good.
through.
Is there anything left in the room?
It's a library. It's filled with books.
Apart from books.
Okay, so you could. You can search the room if you want. Haraxis is left,
Right.
so your choice.
Well,
You've run after him. So are we going to split the party? It's episode 1 after a year.
But
Are we
put it this
splitting
way,
the party?
I didn't see you pick up that stone. I just immediately
also,
followed him.
and the Mumbabi was on the way as well.
Yeah.
So
'Cause-
I'll pick up the stone, and as I turn around, I see you've gone, you and Mumbabi.
Yeah.
I turn to Pollux and to Jericho. Let us go before he kills himself. You saw what that man was capable of. Even Hakote will not fight him by himself.
Very well.
Yeah, Pollux is, while this has been happening, when you say it's a library filled with books and stuff, he's just been kind of looking around,
I will literally grab you if you are hanging behind.
Well, that's the thing.
Just one tomb. I've been very good. Just one. Go on, I'll catch you
I'll
up.
catch you up. No. He's kind of looking around. You could see that he really wants when's he gonna be here again? He would love to just stay, but he also hears this, sees this, and it's just and hearing what you just said, just nods and goes straight along.
Very good.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll cast detect magic as I run. Just
Yeah, everything goes crazy. It's a very magic room. Okay, cool. So in that case, you all run out. So you follow him out into the mine. You see Haraxis is heading towards towards this enormous wooden platform, which is suspended over the mine on these large cranes. Effectively, as he moves, he just kind of almost like levitates over and lands on one of these platforms. And he kind of turns to see that you're following, and as he does, he has a smile on his face, as if saying, "Are you going to join me?" As that happens, you hear this kunk, 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 and you look over, and the winch starts to go dunk, 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 and the platform starts to lower down the center of the mine. Now you might remember there's a huge uprising happening here of all of the villagers trying to free themselves, fighting all the Shankar as well.
So can we hear this echoing up through
Yeah,
the
you
chambers?
can hear all the chambers. So the battle is ringing around. Sahid is somewhere. You remember he's not with you at the moment. He was the one who was freeing everyone to try and give you guys a distraction, so you could actually get up to see who the man in black was, who you found out was Haraxis. So it is now dropping down. What are you going to do?
On the way following him, I am going to pop my last healing vial.
Very good.
Because otherwise, with my 5 hit points, I will die.
You could.
5 hit points?
Yep. I heal a total of 5 hit points.
5 hit points. Well, it's better. It's 100% improvement.
better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm fresh out of vials, according to this.
Very good.
It's not
Great.
It's not showing me anything useful.
Very good. Okay, cool. So it is now plummeting. Mumbabi is heading over that way. He's going to move. Now, there is a bit of a gap here, but as it moves, it is kind of swinging a bit back and forth. So if you time it right, you should be able to land on it without plummeting to your deaths.
Are there? It's right. So
Having said that, we are getting towards the tail end of the campaign.
You gotta jump. I've got my bow. I'm good.
I just feel like I'm after the pub. Everyone back.
we're in a. Are there like cranes or ropes and things above us? Or
Yes.
Is it
So this. You may remember there was these wooden platforms that were kind of going up and down the mine shaft, because the mine buries deep down, and all of the villagers who are kind of being enslaved at the moment were chained to the walls, and they were kind of gathering minerals from it. And effectively what this is where they would dump all of the deposits of mineral ore and all that sort of stuff, and they can move it up and down. When you came in at the bottom of the mine, there was mine carts and tracks as well. So you might remember seeing all that sort of. It has been a year, but yes, this is where it was. So these are the platforms that move up and down. There's actually another one. It's just not moving. This one is kind of going like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so because I chased, after Haraxis.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Mumbabi and I are almost shoulders to shoulder at this
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
And then we've emerged into the opening, and we can see the chasm below and hear all of the fighting. And you say Haraxis he levitated over there?
Yeah.
And-
And this winch, which would normally need a person to do it, is moving by itself.
I think we should go home.
Okay, yeah.
That's an option.
We're going to fight this guy.
Leaves.
Because one thing you might remember is he had these knives and he kind of pulled it, and he seems to use some sort of telekinesis type power.
This is why I have 5 hit points left.
Yeah, because they've been flying around him. He's he's been throwing them at you like that.
So, and you say that this platform is starting to lower now.
Yes.
But it is because I can see that there's a pretty large chasm. There's an opportunity to perhaps.
Yeah. There is an opportunity to look. Let's put it. If you do not land on this, you will die. So just time it right.
Well, I'm going to loose off some arrows into him. I'm fed up with this nonsense.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll get to that in just a moment.
All right. Well, look. Since Mumbabi and I have arrived at the same time,
exactly.
And we are there first, what I will do is I'll shout out to him, Horaxis! And then I'll say, "You think your magics will allow you to escape from me?" And I'm going to leap as it comes towards me.
Yeah.
However, I'm going to spend a key point because, according to this, it has been a year.
Yeah.
I do have all 3 of my key points remaining.
I find that hard to believe, but let's roll with it.
Actually,
all 3
oh no,
of them.
sorry, forgive me. I have spent 1.
Very good.
I can see how I've been doing it.
Okay,
I've spent 1, so therefore I have 2 key points remaining.
Well, you may use
I now
another
have one.
Okay,
remaining.
very good.
That's how that works. Or we could, do it as a freebie since this is the first session back.
No.
So, okay, I'm going to spend a key point. I'm going to use Step of the Wind.
Very good.
What this does is it allows me to disengage or dash action as a bonus action on my turn, but more importantly, my jump distance is doubled for the turn.
Sure. Okay. So what we're going to do is, because you've used that, I was going to make you make an acrobatics check.
Yeah.
Because you've done that, and because of how it's swinging, you just make it across.
I can just make that
You
leap.
just make it across. Mumbabi, however, he's hot on you, so you kind of go, and he just kind of leaps, and you're kind of a bit shocked because he just kind of keeps up with you anyway. Yes, he certainly does. On the roll of a 19, yes, he does.
Yeah.
He just goes, so you both kind of land on the platform. You two need to make a decision as to what you're not going to go on the platform.
I'm not going to jump. I'm a bit too injured at this point. So I know that I'm.
You will be left behind.
I have a bow and arrow.
Yeah, but this is
this going off round a corner?
No, it's going downwards.
I'm not going to be able to shoot downwards.
Yeah, you are, but it's a very, very deep pit. Is all I'm
How
saying.
deep are we talking?
Yeah, how far down?
So
is
it was
You'll die.
it was like stories. Remember, it was buried deep
yeah.
deep.
Can we
down.
see the bottom?
Yeah, you can, but
Can
it's
see.
you effectively, if you were to look off the edge of this,
Yeah.
it's about as far. It would be like standing on like a 10-story building. Like he's been burrowing deep down. This was the whole description we gave you guys.
You missed out the 10 stories.
Remember, we had
My
to skip
impression
the
was it
whole
was
thing.
pretty damn high, and if we fall, we're in a bad way.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
because the thing is, 10 stories, we're all going to die if we make that jump.
Yeah, that's
No,
If we fall to the bottom.
if we fall
yeah.
to the bottom.
If we fall onto the platform, our legs are going to break.
No, it's not gone from the top of the mine to the bottom is 10 stories. It's just started going down, is my point.
I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to full on Assassin's Creed this.
Okay.
I'm going to jump, fire off my arrows into him, and then land.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
That's actually pretty epic.
Yeah, that is pretty.
If I would know this, then seeing it go down and seeing these two idiots jump over as well, then I'm probably going to die in some way, shape, or form anyway.
Yeah.
So let's just do it.
All right. So you're going to jump across. Well, we'll do that. Can you roll a dex, an acrobatics, which is on your dex?
Acrobatics, you say.
Yes.
That is an 11.
11. That's fine. Very good. So you do manage to jump, and I'm not sure I'm going to let you shoot through the air at the same time.
Do you know that I am a badass?
Do you know?
Say that's your first action in the country.
Do you know we're coming to the end of my time here? Okay, very good. What we'll do is we're going to roll initiatives in a moment. Anyway, I just want to get everyone on the platform. I don't understand why this has been so difficult. Jump on the platform.
I don't want to jump on the platform.
I know what I'm doing.
Don't give D&D players choice.
Listen, this is what I'm going to do. In my backpack, I have.
Jump on the platform.
Listen to me. I have some rope in my pack. I'm going to
myself.
turn it into a noose. I'm going to throw it and hook it onto something above, and I'm going to swing towards, because I do not trust my dice rolling. This seems far safer than jumping into the abyss.
You're still going to have to roll your dice to do that, and by the time that's
but if
done,
I don't make the rope, I'm not going to fall to my death. So this is a
Then what are you going to do?
safety first measure, and then I'll jump. Would you like to come with me?
Welcome back,
With me if
everyone.
you want to live.
Well, I know. I have something in mind from when I do something. So you do you, pal.
What do I need to do?
Just roll a dice.
Okay, so I rolled a 4.
You rolled 4.
So I missed.
So you
my
miss.
rope?
Yes, you
Okay.
do. Yeah.
Shall I jump now?
Shall I jump now? You can, but it's going to be more difficult for you now because you wasted so much time. So roll an acrobatics check. What did you roll?
It's plus what?
It's your dexterity.
So I rolled a 8.
Okay, we'll come back to what happens to you in
Do you
just a
get
moment.
negatives for like heavy armor and stuff?
You get negatives to stealth, not to like general acrobatics checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that point, it's DM for yeah.
Yeah, we'll come back to what happens to you in a moment. What are you doing?
Right, so
Good day.
as this is all happening, I'm kind of running up to the platform. I can see what's going on, see that you guys, what you guys have done. Yes, and I look at it, trying to time my jump correctly, but seeing that this, I'm not the most athletic character, to be fair. So as this is happening, I call out to Mumbabi, who I've seen is already on the platform.
Yeah.
He looks over at me, and first what he does is I can see him kind of holding out, because he's got his weapon is like a long spear.
It's a massive spear.
Yeah, so he goes to kind of hold it out as if to go aim for this.
Yeah.
To grab onto it. Which he does, I imagine, but also what he does is I can see briefly in his face.
I've missed your descriptions. I've missed them so much. Please
Especially
keep
when you roll a 2 now.
You can see a little quick moment of recognition in his face because he just remembers who I am and a little conversation we had a while ago that was quite revealing to him.
Yes.
I won't spoil for everyone. You're just gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, you have to go back in time.
Yeah.
All right.
But he then goes. No, he goes back to go. All right. So I kind of G myself up and run as fast as I can, aiming to grab Barbie's spear and jump.
Okay, very good.
So it's Dex, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I don't have any plus. Oh! I rolled an 18.
Very good.
Forget about it.
Exactly what you say happens.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So everyone has landed on the platform. Very good. So having seen,
I landed on the platform. That's good.
you have,
your
except what happened. Except your legs. No, you do miss landing properly, but you catch the edge of it.
That's
okay.
kind of cooler.
Yeah.
Really.
Sort of. So I'm not gonna end your character by you falling to your death in this episode.
It's very kind.
Next episode, maybe.
Next episode, maybe.
Yes.
Not this one.
Unless you pass a strength check with DC 20.
So what, am I like hanging on to the edge of
So
the
you're
platform?
hanging on to the edge of the platform.
Help! Bloody hell!
Right.
So I hear this big oaf land behind me. I say land.
I'm not an oaf!
Him and man.
Okay. Who's nearer, myself or Mumbabi? Or at this point, we're in.
Um,
I'm still sailing through the air.
You're still midair.
you're still in midair waiting.
Everything
waiting-
like I'm slow-mo right now.
Yeah.
I'm
So
slow-mo right now.
what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish up this little description, and then we've got, because there's so many wonderful things going on.
I'm going to put my arms down.
So you fall. Put the arms back up. Very good. You hold them there now for the rest until I tell you to put them down. Right. So you've all kind of half on the planet. Why was this so? This took too long. Okay. So what
Welcome
happens
back
is
to D&D.
as this platform starts to go, because this battle is going on all around you, some of the Shankar see what's going on, and they now are going to jump onto the platform as well to try and protect Haraxis. So 6 of them jump. How many land?
Why is no one helping?
One. One. So,
One of how many?
6.
It's like watching lemmings.
So literally,
He's like, oh my goodness, what is happening?
yeah, exactly. One of them kind of grabs onto your leg and you kind of like boot him off and he goes, ah! So they all fall, but one does manage to scatter up on there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to roll initiatives. How this is going to work is like this. You just fail your initiative, you're going last regardless.
Fair enough.
Okay, because you're holding on for dear life.
Can someone please help me up?
The rest of us now will roll for initiatives. Very good.
Remind me, what's the modifier?
Plus Dex.
That's just
That's
Dex.
it,
Okay. Okay, so 18 plus 5, so 23.
Okay, very
Your
good.
Dex is free, mate.
Oh, we just used the bonus?
Yeah, you don't use. Yeah, that's your saving throws. It's been a year.
Oh, that's a saving
Yeah.
throw. Sorry,
Yeah.
forgive me. Yeah. Yes, correct.
Your
Sorry,
initiative is
plus
there.
3.
Yeah.
Yes, 21.
21.
I
Okay, very
pull
good.
myself up.
No, you're pushing it. Right. Yes, Rin, what is yours?
18 plus 6, 24.
Well.
I told you. Badass. Also, I'm very annoyed with
I rolled a
Haraxis.
6, so I don't get any pluses.
And you.
So yeah.
Are you still in the sky?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Pollux was 6. And then I was 22. Okay, cool. So how it will work is it will go Ren, it will go Hakote, it will go Pollux, it will go Rin, it will go Haraxis, it will go Hakote, it will then go Pollux, and then it will go you, Jericho. But you will have to spend your first round pulling yourself up onto the platform. And that's what you get. Okay, that is it. Luckily, only one of the Shanka made it across. Unbelievably, I rolled a 1. Oh, joy. We'll be right back for combat. Let combat commence. We will start with Rin as he flies through the air, firing his bow shots into the Shanka.
Yeah.
what I've done, the reason why
I can't believe I rolled 5 of them plummeted to their death.
that was me Goomba stomping them to make my way over.
Oh, I see.
I was doing a Lego
I
act,
see.
you see.
Right, very good.
Basically, physics means
Classic
nothing to
Ashai.
elves.
Classic Ashai. Yeah, okay, very good. All right, do yourself.
So, for the purposes of like the cinematics, obviously, I've fired like a shot as I've gone through the air. And
Yeah.
I've fired another one as I've landed with my Gloomstalker attack.
Right.
I have one spell slot left. I'm going to save it for now. I think.
Okay, baby.
So my first attack, as I sail through the air, just firing it into Haraxis. That is a 17 plus 5.
That's a hit.
Okay, so that first attack does a total of, with my short bow, and the Hunter's Mark is still active because this has happened just after the combat, right? He takes a total of 1 plus 1 plus 3 points of damage, so 5.
Okay.
And then my second Gloomstalker attack is a 9 plus 5, so that is 14.
14. Okay. 14 is a miss.
Oh,
Yes.
that'd be the one that does the extra damage, so of course it missed.
Yeah, that's how I like to roll. Okay, very good.
Okay. And then, I sort of land and I just knock another arrow
Very good.
at him.
Okay, very
I
good.
don't say anything.
It now comes over to Haraxis and the Shanka. So we'll start off with the Shanka.
Shanka?
Yeah, the one that made it. So he kind of lands and he looks behind himself and he realizes he's by himself and he looks up at his master, and Haraxis has just pulled this arrow and just kind of snapped it off and just throws it over the edge. And so he kind of goes, "Wah!" He charges in. You are the closest to him, Kote, so he will go for you. And he slashes out with his spear. What is your armor class?
15.
All right. Where are my stats for him? Never mind, he misses. So I think he's still a little shell-shocked that all of his friends have just fallen to their death. We will now come to Haraxis. Haraxis, suddenly you see he just takes a moment, he closes his eyes, and then he kind of almost blurs out of vision. He goes, so you can, he now becomes, it's almost like he's solid, but he's not there as he moves around. And any attacks made on him for future will now be at disadvantage.
All attacks.
Until he fails his concentration.
Until he fails, yeah.
Well,
So hit him and hit him hard.
Yeah. Okay, very good. That's him done. So we now will come over to Hakote.
Right. Okay, the Shanka has just launched, what's he got, like a spear? Or
A spear and a little shield.
Okay, well, as he's launched his spear
Little
at
guy?
me,
Yeah.
I actually don't even look at him.
Right.
I'm just looking at Horaxis.
Yeah.
And as the spear comes
You
at
now
me,
can't see
I
that
just
well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What should we do about it?
Do you tell me?
Specsavers?
Yeah. Reminds me. Need to go back. Anyway, yeah.
Right. You lost your glasses.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a sad story.
So
what happens is another sad story. In fact, this is a really sad story.
Right.
That Shankar is about to join his friends. Okay, in the pit below.
Okay.
So as the spear comes at me, I actually just turn around it, and he just goes darting off the platform.
Brilliant.
That's it.
Very good.
I don't need to waste my time on something so insignificant.
Sure.
You understand?
I do.
Well, I rolled a 10.
Plus?
Plus 5, so 15.
That is a hit.
Yeah. Technically speaking, I'm hitting with my hand.
Of course,
okay?
yeah, no, I understand.
Everyone knows what's going on.
Yeah. I'm aware. Everyone on board. Yeah, very good.
So D6, I only roll a 1. I get plus 3 damage, so it's 4.
Okay.
I believe I get an extra attack
With your unarmed, yeah.
with my
Bonus
unarmed.
action.
So I'm going to do that as well.
Okay.
And then I could use Flurry of Blows as a key point. Sorry, guys, because it has been a year.
It's been a long time.
To then do another 2 unarmed strikes. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, fine.
Right, this time it's a 6 plus 5, so 11.
No, that is a miss.
Okay. So basically, he's managed to hang on to the side, hasn't he?
Well, I think actually he's kind of grabbed onto. So as you've moved, he's kind of like grabbed onto your leg.
He's not dared to touch me, has he?
No, yeah, he's holding on to you. So he's kind of stopped himself from going past, which is how he missed. But he managed to catch himself, and he's kind of pulling himself back up. So that's what he's doing.
No.
Yes. What's next?
Well, that's it. I'm not going to spend my final key point.
Okay, very good. So we now will come over to Mumbabi. So he has the entire time while you guys have all been have all been carrying on, essentially. Am I going to jump onto the platform? Am I not? He's been kind of just staring into the eyes of Haraxis. He suddenly just goes, takes 3 steps forward and goes to shield bash him off the edge. And he comes over the top with his spear, piercing him through the head. Now, I will need to... Thank you.
This is against Haraxis, is it?
This is against
So
Haraxis.
he's charged Haraxis.
Yes, he has. Straight in there, because he's not mucking about, you see. All right, he will be attacking. Now, because it is at disadvantage, that is not a critical. But it was. But however, luckily, he has still hit. So he kind of bashes into Haraxis, and that kind of misses, but he still manages to throw his spear in the right direction as Haraxis takes a step to one side. He does a total of 10 damage as he just pierces Haraxis through his shoulder. Just goes, Haraxis goes, as he cries out. But he is still alive, albeit after that, quite badly wounded. We now come over to you, Pollux.
Right. So this, to just backtrack a little bit, tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah, very good.
As Haraxis did that thing where he kind of phased out and, did his thing, I just come up and, we've done our thing with Mumbabi. I kind of see that, and then I just pause for a moment and I say, take over. My eyes go dark red.
Oh, come on, mate. You've only been going for 10 minutes.
I know. Well, let's get into it. Let's do it. As he does this, his eyes go red. He reaches into his pouches, takes out a small vial. He shots it down. He drops the vial, which if this was like in a movie or something, it would kind of like tink off the platform down the down the thing below.
Yeah.
Also all very cinematic.
Like a metaphor.
Yeah. Like,
For lost innocence, I suppose.
Yes,
Chef. Anyway.
Cameron, eat your heart out. James.
I understood.
Yeah. Or Jim. Jim, as I like to call him.
Yeah, we're
anyway.
pals. So he takes down the vial. He kind of retches for a little while. You see him kind of do this, and he almost goes real gaunt for a moment.
Right.
And then he kind of reestablishes his features. I've just cast False Life. I do that automatically. What that does, it gives me extra hit points. So it's D4 plus 4 temporary hit points.
Okay.
It lasts an hour.
Very good.
So I'll just
a long time.
Yeah.
roll D4. So that's that's 4.
Oof.
So I get 8 extra hit points.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
So,
okay.
and I'm on full hit points last check. So
I'm on full hit points because I'm a wizard and I stay away from combat.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Very good.
You're a tonk wizard now.
Muscle wizard.
I have a feeling I'm going to need to be.
Yeah, and that's you done, is it?
That is my turn. Yes.
Very good. Okay, very
It's
good.
full action. Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, cool. So in that case, we then it would be your turn, Jericho. You spend your turn getting up onto the platform.
Yes.
The end. Right. So,
Excuse me.
yeah.
I had an epic
So I pulled
description.
myself up
Yeah. And
with
that's
my
it.
action.
That's it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Don't.
As a bonus action.
Okay.
Because you can't bend the rules of the game.
I am the rules of the game.
So as Jericho raises himself up, has a bit of a puff, he will unsheath his sword and sort of steady himself. And he mutters under his breath. You can't hear what he's saying, but you can sort of hear him muttering. I'm going to do my vow of enmity.
Ah, yes, the vow of enmity.
To Mr. Magic Man.
Haraxis.
Haraxis.
Thank you.
And because he is within 10 feet.
Yes.
So that gives me advantage against him for a minute or until he's dead.
Okay, very good.
And that is now the end.
That is now the end, is it? Very good. Okay, very good. So does that just cancel out?
Yeah.
Yeah, advantage versus. If you have advantage and disadvantage, they don't stack. You just go back to normal.
Just go back
there's
to
no like if you've got 7 bits of advantage and versus 6 bits of disadvantage, you get advantage. It's just doesn't matter.
So you're back to normal.
You hit him normally.
Yeah.
Until he loses his disadvantage for failing whatever saves, or if it turns off, I don't know.
So if anyone sort of glances towards Jericho, you can sort of see with his one good eye, he's sort of like, you can see it sort of darting between his like many forms.
Yeah.
So he's just trying to sort
cool.
of like get his eye in.
Very good.
He has one eye. Get
Yeah.
his eye in.
Ba-dum-ching.
Very good. Okay, good. Are you done?
Now I'm done.
Are you done?
Hey, listen, I can't do much. I'm making the most of it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. No, I enjoyed it. I'm having a lovely time. Right, we come back to Rin.
Okay, so with the arrow that I have knocked, I just loose it into Haraxis, and then in sort of one seamless motion, I basically drop my bow. I'm not going to knock another arrow, and I just move forward with one of my blades drawn. I don't get to make another attack, but I do get to shoot, drop, and draw as an action. The shot is, oh no, it's disadvantage, isn't it? So it doesn't matter because I rolled a 9, which misses. So.
You missed. Yes, very good. Okay.
And then I will just move next to him.
But very cinematic.
very cinematic.
So what does this arrow like? His telekinesis makes it
Yeah, so
swerve off.
Effectively this arrow, it's going straight for his head and suddenly it just goes just shoots off the side and actually hits one of the Shanker that's running around on the side.
What you're saying is I didn't actually miss.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, no, you
It's a
didn't
kill.
miss at all.
It's a kill.
Yeah.
Was it a
It's
crit?
kill. Huh?
Was it a crit?
Yeah, it was a
Shanker?
crit. It was a double crit. Okay, cool. So we'll now come to Haraxis. Now, I do need to see if his thing continues. It does for this round. Very good. Okay, cool. So he is now engaged by 2 of you, is he? Very good. So effectively, what happens is all of the knives just go and start spinning around him again. And he just goes, he claps his hand and 4 blades just go and they fire out at 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. It's effectively a magic missile. You guys take a total of, that would be 3 damage in total as these blades just go shing, 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 and cut into you. That is him done. The Shanker, now who's holding onto your leg, pulls himself back from the edge of the precipice of falling off, and then he turns and he jabs his spear into your. Well, he's holding onto your leg. Yeah, so up into your groin. You suddenly get a spear that just goes. No, it's a miss. He misses. Yes, because that could have been bad.
Oh, I've only got like 2 hit points left.
Yeah.
I've already got one groin.
I've got one of those. Cool, very good. So,
One good one left.
so it does actually come back to you, Hakote.
Okay. I've actually realised just how badly wounded I actually am.
Yeah.
What Hakote does is, as he's grabbing onto my leg, I back fist him away with the hand which is holding the axe and just knock him off the platform.
Okay.
Okay. So we go in with a 10 plus 5, 15.
Oh yeah, baby, that's a hit.
D6 it is 2 plus 3, so 5 points of damage.
Okay, so he is still alive, but you do batter him pretty hard in the face
Still alive. Okay, in which case I go in with the unarmed strike. I miss, I assume. 5 plus 5, DC 10.
Yeah, no, you do miss on that one.
Okay.
Okay, very good. I mean, he's very badly wounded at this stage, but he is still alive. Okay, very good. So now we will come over to Mumbabi. So he now strikes out again. So he's kind of going, stabs him. All these blades have kind of shot out. It's almost like they're like a defensive blade. So he kind of got shot, and then it's like the spikes kind of shot out and went around. But because Mumbabi was so close in on him, Haraxis couldn't quite bring them to get around on him. So he's still got Haraxis pinned, and he just twists his spear there. Oh! It's a critical hit! No, I didn't roll double 20. It's not. Never mind.
It's a disadvantage.
It's a disadvantage. But he did roll a 19 and 20.
That's pretty good.
He's not mucking about. Okay, here we go. So the damage. So he twists the blade in. No, that's not the one I need to roll. Where has it gone? Where has it gone? Someone pass me a D8, please. Thank you very much. Very good. He does a total of 8 damage again as he just twists around. No, it's mine now. He just twists it around. Haraxis cries out in pain, but you see this kind of like energy. He's quite whatever's going on with him. He's imbued with some sort of energy, which seems to be giving him more power than someone of his stature should have. But he is still alive. We will now come over to Pollux.
Right.
Yes.
So, cool. So, as Pollux is standing there, he notices some like water dripping down from wherever the top of the cave is or whatever. So he sees one land on the platform. He looks at it, and he can kind of notice the moisture in the what is it called, wood that we're standing on.
Sure.
Moisture
in the wood.
Yeah, moisture in the wood.
I'm excited where this is going.
Yeah, I mean, okay, sure.
I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Should be able to guess by now, although it has been a year. And so he closes his eyes. You kind of start to see his hands form like a sigil. One of his hands starts to get all kind of like, you can see like what's it called?
Hand? Water. Magic.
It looks like it's freezing, basically. You can kind of see like this what is it, the condensation kind of.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. That's the word I was looking for. And you can see muttering something to himself. It's under his breath, and he just goes hand on the ground, and all the moisture from in the wood starts to kind of freeze over all the way up to Horaxis.
Yeah.
And at Haraxis' feet, you can see these skeletal hands just kind of grab his leg.
Yes.
I'm casting Chill Touch. Yes. And it is still a disadvantage, is that correct?
It will be,
Yes.
yes.
There's a red D20 in there, if you may think. Thank you very much.
That's it. It's all right.
Cool. That's the right one, yep, cool, alrighty. So I rolled a 19 and a 16, so 16.
Strong.
Yeah,
It's a hit.
Strong.
Right.
Touches you got there.
Yeah. Yeah. From the moisture in the wood crane, which has been underground for months and months and months.
Caves are very damp.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not this cave.
Oh,
Look at all
come
the
on now.
stalactites, the stalagmites.
They literally can only exist if there's damp.
Listen.
Formed over millennia.
Listen, I'm going to allow it, but there was a lot of liberties taken with that description.
That was the limit.
That's where I draw the line.
Moisture in the air, that's what you
Go on then.
Anyway, he takes 1d8 necrotic damage and can't regain hit points until that probably doesn't matter. So 1d8 damage is 3.
It's 3. It's just
Yeah.
that's all. Okay, just
Well, I'll read it. It can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Until then, the hand clings to the target. So he kind of hangs on
To
to
the
him.
start of it. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. So this icy grip. I like to think actually what happens is the blood that's pooling around his shoulder where Mumbabi's like twisting that spear actually starts to freeze, and so it's almost that's where the moisture came from, and it starts to get it hurts.
Yeah.
There's lots of pain going on there. Very good. Okay, great. All right, Jericho, it's you.
So there, right. So Mr. Man, who's in the middle there, he's hanging onto the edge, right? So he's not actually there.
Well, that's just.
I mean, that's the description.
Yeah,
So I can go
is
past
there.
him.
No.
No, he is actually.
No, he is
there.
actually there.
Yeah,
That's
fine.
just the description we're playing around with.
Okay, fine.
He's sort of swinging around. He was on the edge.
swirling
He's now
melee.
like
Yeah.
come back in the middle.
Okay. So
Melee, if you will.
Yes.
Jericho has his eye trained on Haraxis, but seeing you,
Yeah.
this troublesome minion.
Well, actually, so truth be told, I just got hit. I actually miscalculated my what I thought we had. So I think I'm actually technically on 0 hit points.
What?
But I did also have 1 scratch, which I wasn't sure whether I'm either on 1 or 0.
Well, say you're on 1.
Okay.
Okay, so with that in mind.
So I'm actually bleeding quite heavily at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's going to take his eye off Haraxis for now and just sort of make his way over to Hakote. And he's just going to swing a mighty blow from where this thing is holding on, and he cuts his arm off.
Okay, very
Falls to his
good.
death. Okay?
Yes, please. That would be nice.
That's an 18.
That's a hit.
Plus
That is
5.
a good start.
Very good.
Okay.
What's your damage?
My damage
Instruments.
is 3.
If you would like to describe how...
8.
Yes, it's dead. If you'd like to describe how dead it is.
Okay. So what I explained just happened.
Yeah.
The sword comes up from the bottom of his arm, cuts it off, and it's still hanging on to Hakote's leg.
Perfect.
I imagine you're going to sort of like take a bit of a step. So I'm just going to grab you just to avoid you from dropping
Yeah,
to your
I
death.
am actually sort of staggering a little bit. So great. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just going to pull you away from the edge.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Give you a nice firm tap on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Encouragement 101.
Yeah, I look at you and nod my head in thanks.
Yeah.
And then immediately turn a murderous gaze to Magic Man.
Yeah.
As we like to
Haraxis.
call him.
Yes. The most magic of magic.
I'm going to remove this mod.
Okay, very good.
First
Remove the model! It's so
Kill.
far away!
You have
Come to
earned-
me! You're mine! Very good.
My dead pile.
Okay, very nice. Right, so that would come around to Rin now. Before this, however, you've been also involved in combat that you didn't realize that as you've been going down, the platform's been actually moving faster and faster and faster. And suddenly it just goes, and you all kind of feel it, and you've hit the bottom of the mine.
Ooh.
And this, Haraxis, flickers once again out of reality.
Sorry, I didn't move myself. I'm just going to go over here.
That's all right.
Carry on.
That's okay.
There we go.
That's fine.
I'm really
So
glad
he,
you did
kind
that.
he flickers out of reality. You are now at the bottom of this shaft, and you see him. He kind of comes. He goes. Vroom, reappears was the word I was looking for. In one of the mine carts, and the cart starts to go, and he starts to disappear
No freaking
down
way.
the mine.
Hey, how far away is he?
There is another minecart that you could all get into if you want. It is your turn now, though. You could fire an arrow or something like that.
How far away is he?
How far away is he?
Yeah.
So you've landed in the bottom of the mine. I would say so. It's the opposite side of the room. So I don't know.
Well, if we reset the grid, but basically, if he was by the entrance to the chamber,
Yeah.
with the mine tracks there,
Yeah, essentially.
from you, Rin, he would be approximately, because each square's 5 foot, right?
Yeah.
He'd be approximately 20 feet.
According to our nice new task.
Assuming
Yeah.
he's just on the inside of the chamber,
Yeah,
which is where
because
the carts.
what we don't have is there are 2 mine carts there. So he's kind of ended up in one, and then there's another one there, and it's kind of started to move off.
Right, so he's 20 feet away.
Yes.
That's roughly what we're saying. I have a 40-foot move. I'm going to go and grapple him.
What? Okay. Woo! Very good.
Yeah.
It's an opposed strength check.
Okay.
Or dodge, whichever one you prefer, basically. So you can do acrobatics or athletics. Okay, fine.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 2.
All right. Well, I rolled a 19.
Okay, cool. I dash off after him, and sort of like reach out for almost like his robes to just kind of yank him out as the cart's going away and just like bash him across and drag him out. Just can't get it.
Essentially, it's quite odd as you go to do it. His clothes just suddenly they kind of pull in a bit, so he's kind of like
he's basically Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and chase him as well. I can move 30 feet.
Okay, very good.
I'm going to try
at
and
the
tackle
end
him.
of your turn, after my turn, and after his turn, and after everyone else's turn.
Yeah, I'm just announcing it.
So it is now his turn.
Yeah.
So as the minecart, so you've done this. Suddenly he just turns to you and just goes, I can see why he chose you. You are strong, but now you will die. He just goes, this beam of energy just shoots down at you.
Out of his head?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I just need to check my rules for this.
This is like Cyclops style.
Yeah, essentially, that's exactly what happens. Now, it's been a year, and I've got written down this cool spell here. Remind me how Eldritch Blast works?
You make an attack roll.
I make an attack roll. That's what I thought.
That sounds familiar.
Here we go. What's your AC?
14.
That is a hit.
Okay, how much damage do you do to me?
Let's tell you right now. You take 8 damage.
I'm dead.
Okay, very good. So as this beam of energy just goes boom, you just go across the floor and you are unconscious. Very good. Okay, he then continues on his way. We come over
would
to
be
you, Hakote.
Yeah, seeing this, I immediately, because you were faster than me, and I see you go to grapple him, I stagger off the platform and I immediately go to your aid. I don't have a potion or anything, but I believe, can we assist in stabilizing?
You can. I will then be unconscious for an hour. I am not allowed to wake up at that point.
Oh, if I
Because
assist
he
you?
can roll to get back up.
Yeah, if you stabilize me, I am unconscious for an hour
Oh, I see.
or more.
Interesting.
So
Right, fine.
what would you do?
I
What would you do?
I run over to you and
yeah, ignore the rules.
I check your body exactly, and I turn to the others. I say, "Does anyone have a potion? Anything, quickly!"
Can I do?
Because Hakote doesn't search himself because he knows he doesn't have anything, and I'm also on the precipice of death.
Yes.
Concentrations. Oh no, I'm unconscious, so my hunter's mark turns off anyway.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do lay on hands now because I wasted Bow of Enmity.
Yeah, you can. Lay on hands is separate to power of enmity.
It's not my turn yet, is it?
No.
Well, it would be, is it Mumbabi, Pollux, and then Jericho?
Yeah, he's last. So we've got to go. We've got
So
to go.
I've shouted over. I mean,
Yeah.
does Mumbabi?
I'll see to him. Track him down.
All right, I nod at you and I turn. This minecart that he's got in has just shot off at a rate of knots, is it?
Well, it's moving slowly, but what you notice is as you get closer, the second minecart also seems to move as well.
Well, if I get on it, I'm going to be by myself on it.
It's not stopped you so far from
won't.
running off like an idiot.
You weren't, Lawrence. Lawrence, you weren't.
I jump on it.
Cool.
Are they on the same track, or are they kind of like side by side, like Temple of Doom style? Kind of?
No, they're on the same track.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I leave Rin and I leap into the cart.
Very good. Okay, cool. Into his? Or the one that's going by? So it would
Well, I'm
probably
assuming
be,
he's already moved off because I've just spent time doing.
All right, so you get into that cart, that's fine. You're in the cart.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, what are you guys doing?
Well, I'm first. So what I do is, as I see him kind of head off in the car, do that thing to Rin, I just call out, "Coward!" and just run straight towards the cart along with Hakote.
Great, so you jump in there.
That's my turn.
Mumbabi's obviously jumped in the cart as well.
What did you do?
Called him a coward.
I called out coward and
Oh, you
joined
run off
Jericho
with me.
and run like chasing after him.
Okay, right. I'm gonna run over to Rin, and I'm gonna do lay on hands.
Can I do that when you have 0 hit points?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
you can heal. You can magically heal anything that's on 0 hit points. It's
Listen
just-
up. I have 5 points in my pool. My pool points to give you, and I'm gonna give you all of them.
5.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you have 0.
But
and
this
I
is
feel
true.
like you should have 5.
This is true.
So you can just give him those points. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just gives him.
So I'm gonna run over. I'll kneel
What's
down.
the point? Why am I playing?
Yeah, you can't prevent it. You can do nothing.
I can't kill anyone. I can't do anything.
Where did the blast hit you?
In the face.
So you've got like a burnt and mangled face, I'm presuming.
Yes!
Oh yeah, it's like scorched and everything.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So I'm just gonna place my hand on your face. You see a like a glow.
I don't see anything. I'm unconscious.
Yeah.
I see a glow. I think that's pretty cool.
You're like, I'm pretty sweet.
The cavern walls illuminate and then dull down again. And you have five hit points.
Yeah.
Back. And you do have quite a cool scar as well.
Yeah.
Decided.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
I'm a ranger.
You're back.
He's a wizard.
Okay.
You must not be so hasty next time.
Very well. We will leave him and let him go off on his merry way.
If I weren't here, you'd be dead.
Maybe. And I pull myself to my feet. It's my turn now in the initiative, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I put my hand on your shoulder. Thank you, Jericho. But seeing him go off, shall we? I'm gonna recast my hunter's mark onto
Sure.
him because he's not gonna be more than 90 feet away at this
No,
point, is he?
no. This is all happening very quickly.
Yeah, because it's all like
Yeah.
so I'm going to recast that on there. And so with how far away is the second minecart?
To you, it's pretty much right next to where you are.
Okay,
we've
so
only just
with
started.
So these guys have all just kind of piled in. It's all just starting to move.
So because I've got 40-foot move, I'm going to move back 20 feet to the edge of the platform where I drop my bow, yank it up, and then move back the other 20 feet to the minecart and sort of
dive in.
and
Cool.
hoist myself in. And then
Very good.
I can't like knock or fire anything because it would take an action to sort of do
Sure.
the various interactions, but that's
Fine.
my turn.
Okay, very good. So
No, it's an action, isn't it? Lay on hands.
Lay on hands is an action, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't just jump in the cart right now.
You'd have enough movement, I suppose.
I'm going to jump in the cart.
okay, you jump in the
I'm
car.
going to follow you.
Yeah, if it's like right next to.
Everyone can get in the car.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll
Very
into
packed.
it.
It's very packed.
Mine carts
Quite
aren't
big.
Yeah, mine carts aren't large, and Mumbabi is stood there just like.
At the front.
We're all sat on his shoulders or something.
Okay, very good. So you continue. So you go on. Okay, so it comes over to Haraxis. He comes into focus. So whatever was going on, so you will no longer be firing him at disadvantage. But then suddenly, shing, 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 the blades come out again. He fires them at you.
Are we able to? I know probably not, but if you don't ask, you don't get. You
Sure.
know. Like, am I able to just completely sit in the cart so that I'm completely out of line of sight of him? Because I've got no ranged weaponry until I get really close with the hand axe.
Yeah.
And Hakote's not going to stand there in the cart just looking at him.
Yeah.
You know, hi. You know, I'm just not going to do that. So I'm going to take cover.
Sure.
If that helps me in any way.
No.
Thank you.
No, it doesn't help you at all.
Well, then that's dumb. That's dumb.
Why would it help you?
Because you can't see me.
If you can't see something, you can't target them, so it does actually help you.
Oh yes, it actually helps me.
Okay,
Thank
very
you,
good.
Chef.
Unless it specifically says like you can target anything, but generally you need to be able to see something.
Right. Well, I am hiding in the cart, so that's what I've jumped in, and I haven't just stood there looking at him.
Sure,
I've
very
gotten,
good.
yeah.
So
behind.
you've hidden.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Has everyone else hidden as well?
I
No.
feel like I'm too big because we're both in the cart.
Yeah, I mean, we've literally just kind of like
Unless
grabbed
I use
onto
your body
it.
as a shield. But I have a shield, so I don't need to do that.
I mean, I mean, it's kind of, we've just sort of leapt in with kind of, because of the pressure of the situation. I would say that I'm not like down and ducking and hiding, like, because it's all happening very quickly.
I'll be in front of you with my shield up, then you can hide. Okay.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Okay,
cool.
very
That's
good.
cool.
All right, so these blades do fly at all of you, though. You've hidden, so they don't go for you, but they go for the rest of the party. Effectively, as these blades kind of go past, you all take 2 damage as they kind of skim over the top of you, make cuts on your sides and all that sort of
Wow,
stuff.
that would have killed me.
Yeah, exactly.
just take
Yes, they do.
just do damage.
They just fly around. Okay, very good. He's a very powerful magician. Very, very powerful indeed. Okay, very good. That's him done. It would now come over to you, Hakote. Now what happens is your cart seems to be speeding up and you are getting closer to him.
Okay.
Okay. Because you're heavier, essentially, right? So you're on a kind of downwards, but you are catching up. You have a choice now. You can do nothing, or you can make an attempt to leap into his cart.
Leap into the car.
Right, well,
nothing, baby.
I'll be honest, so realistically, I don't have a sense of where our cart is because I'm not looking. So
you can have a free action to have a peek.
Okay, so that's probably what I'll do. So Hakote's landed initially and then went up hard against the front of the cart, got the axe ready, and then everyone else has piled in.
Yeah.
I've seen these knives cut through some of my friends here. I peek my head above, very slightly.
Yeah.
And do I think I can make that jump?
I mean, you do. But you
Then I would.
Yeah, then you make a jump for it?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
very good. All right,
Absolutely.
cool. So if you would like to roll, please.
Okay.
This be an acrobatic, so on your dex.
Okay. So I roll a 16 and then I have a pretty substantial acrobatics bonus. It's +5 in fact.
You land in the cart next to it.
What kind of jump do you do?
So what I do is I actually spring off of the lip of the front of the cart.
Yeah.
So I almost kick off of it, dive through the air, and as I land, I bring the tomahawk right down on top of his skull.
Okay.
You hear Jericho from
understand?
behind.
I do understand.
Oh God, lad!
Critical. It winked
It did wink at you.
Okay, so 12 +5, 17.
It is a hit.
Lovely. The damage with the axe is d6. I roll a 2 +3, so 5 points of damage.
Oof, it just cuts down across Haraxis' face and it opens up a huge gash just kind of like down here. He starts to bleed profusely.
I'm then going to spend a key point.
Oh,
my final
baby.
Key point, and
Okay.
I'm going to do Flurry of Blows.
All right, very good.
Which gives me 2 unarmed bonus attacks instead of 1.
Cool.
Okay, so as the axe comes down, and this will have to be, the axe comes down, I then do a somersault kick and turn it into a roundhouse kick.
Yes!
Kick him off the cart. First is 12 +5 again,
That's a
so
hit.
17.
Oh, consistency is key.
Consistency is key, although this will have to be D4.
D4 this time, yeah.
So that is 1 +3, so 4 points of damage. And then the roundhouse kick in the face to knock him off the cart is 10 +5, 15.
It's a hit.
Lovely. D4 is 1 again, +3 is 4 points of damage.
He's not dead,
okay.
but he is battered to within an inch of his life.
I would take a bow, but I'm busy fighting.
You're
for my
busy
life.
fighting. But which might be quite appropriate because it comes to Mumbabi's initiative.
Yes.
So as this is kind of happening, as you've been fighting and you're battering him so hard, what you actually notice is the first of the carts almost like kind of starts jolting and slowing down, and you kind of feel like whereas the cart that you were all in was almost being pulled after you, that energy sort of leaves. And actually what happens is when that happens, the cart just goes even faster because you guys are kind of heading down. So whatever was happening before, it seems that your carts were being kind of propelled or resisted by magic. The second cart goes and actually bumps into the first cart. As it bumps, you see Mumbabi's kind of been standing there. He leaps into the cart next to you.
Come on, Mumbabi!
So you've just done this roundhouse kick, and Haraxis kind of spins on the spot, and he kind of like lands at his feet, and he looks up, and Mumbabi is just looking down at him, and Mumbabi just gets his spear and just goes and goes straight through Haraxis. Through the bottom of the mine, sparks and stuff seems to start flying up from where it's hitting the track. Is that what happened? Yes, it is. That's exactly what happened. Pierces Haraxis through the chest. He screams out. You hear all of the sparks are going off. Suddenly, both of the carts just stop, dead in their tracks.
Oh.
You see Haraxis kind of flinch for a moment, and then he dies.
So you sort of see the breath. What I would like to do is, as the spear has gone through, and we can see the sudden shock in Haraxis, his face, Hakote kneels down very calmly and then leans over him and looks at him and says, "The Demiurge cares nothing for pawns."
He just kind of smiles at you.
And I look up at Mumbabi and nod at him.
Then you hear a rumbling. The walls around you start to shake. A stone falls. Another stone falls.
Run!
It is time to run.
I hop out of the cart. I don't even bother searching him, and I start to run. I'm assuming further up this shaft here.
You kind of just come around a corner and you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, cool. So you flee down the mine shaft. Up ahead, the light of day. You actually see the waterfall that you kind of came through, and then off to your right, you would have seen where you went down further into the mine. As you burst out through the waterfall, you see many of the villagers are already out there. Some are injured, some are crying, some kind of just staring off into the distance with vacant expressions. But you've all made it outside at this point. You hear a thunderous cracking sound, and you're hit with an explosion of dust as the entrance of the mine collapses. As the dust begins to subside, you see a figure moving towards you through the smoke. It is Sahid, and he's carrying a young boy. Mumbabi, on seeing this, drops his shield and spear and runs to the child and Sahid. Sahid, who's quite badly wounded himself, hands the boy over. Mumbabi holds the boy tightly to his chest, tears streaming down his face. It is his son. The son seems to have taken a knock to the head, but other than being a bit dazed, he's okay. And then Mumbabi speaks. My oath is complete. May my father rest. Thank you, all of you, for what you have done. However, I fear what the consequences of what we have done this day will bring upon my people. As he finishes speaking, a strong wind suddenly begins to build around you. Mumbabi quickly puts his son on the ground. The water from the waterfall snakes out and encircles the party. Suddenly, the jungle and the villages disappear. The sound of rushing water roars around you until you can hear nothing else, and then it stops. Silence. We'll be back in just a moment. In the darkness, you feel nothing. You hear nothing. But you feel something inside of you strengthen. You've all been through some horrific trials in this past what, weeks, days, minutes? Who knows? Years? But what this means for all of you is you've just leveled up.
Yes!
And with the magic of cinema, we've already done that for you. So, suddenly though, you hear the sound of rushing water once again surrounding you. And you feel solid ground underneath your feet. It's almost like this water rushes round in some sort of hurricane almost around you. You're like in it, but you can still breathe. And then it just goes and disappears into the sky. You see that you're stood in the ruins of an old monastery. The temperature has dropped significantly, and you can see your breath hanging on the air. It is a stark contrast to the jungle heat of Nyambane, Mumbabi's homeland. You are bathed in red light, and when you look up, you see that the roof of the monastery is no longer there, rotted away from a time long forgotten. Nagal hangs high in the sky, but instead of shining his normal luminous white light down upon all of you, he shines a dark red color. Around the rest of the monastery, there appears to have been a fire at some point. The glass in the windows is gone, and charred remains of wooden pews can be seen. Statues of the gods can be seen. However, on closer inspection, you can see that they have been defaced, their likeness scratched away with crude implements. You are standing where you believe the altar may once have stood. You notice on the ground, when you look down, that that you are standing on what looks like an eye. It is painted in a dark red color, which you believe is dried blood. Around the eye is a circle made from stones. You see another slightly larger circle, and another, until you count 9 circles all told. That is what you see. What do you do? You would recognize this pattern, Jericho.
I look around and visibly seem confused.
This is not the same as before. This is not the temple.
Who knows what the temple actually is? I'm going to start kicking the stones to break the circles.
Sure. Yeah, nothing. You do nothing. Nothing happens.
Does anyone recognize this place?
Yeah, Pollux responds by he's kind of looking around. He's like in awe, and it's kind of horrific awe. He kind of, like you said, the paint is dry blood. He kind of gives him one of these, and then in response to that, he says, "Never in my wildest dreams." And just continues to look around, mouth agape, essentially.
Is there like an obvious entrance? Like, is there doors or?
Yeah. So it's kind of like a roofless monastery. Like the glass is shattered in. There's a bit of wall missing, but yeah, there is an entrance. There's a door hanging off a hinge. Half of it's missing.
Jericho says nothing. He just heads for the door.
I look to Mumbabi and Rin.
Wait. We all need to talk about what just happened. We cannot ignore what was just said, what we just encountered. And we are in no shape to go exploring outside of a place which we do not know or is not recognized to any of us. part of you know what Horaxis was saying was true. I have suspected it as much. I did warn you all that this was no good place that we were being sent to, that Chai Lang is some sorcerer of cheap tricks.
You do not know that he spoke the truth.
No, and yet, such deep down, Hakote, do you honestly believe that what we are doing here, what you have done, what we have all done, has been for the good of this place? In Bohana's name?
I will confess that I have not seen much light here.
No. I point to Pollux. I would speak with your passenger. Hieronymus knows what Haraxis was talking about, does he not?
Is it wise?
I put my hand on your arm.
If we are going to die, Hakote, we're going to die here in a few moments. Or, realistically, we should already have died. We are but pawns of Chai Lang, of the Demriag, of Baal, I care not which. But I am fed up with not having the truth. I am fed up with not having the answers. And Hieronymus has some answers. So I would speak with him, Pollux.
Talk as if I could just change it when I want.
Pop one of those vials. Shall I slap you about a bit until he gets annoyed and comes out to play?
Do you want to know?
I reach into my pack and pull out the orb thing that I took from the library. Horaxis, and whomever he serves, was spying on us through this. He knew everything about us. He knew what we were capable of. He knew what we were there for. Now I am no master of the arcane, but your friend might be able to tell us a little bit more about what this is. And if we can turn the tools of our enemies against them. They wish to spy on us. Let them. But if we can spy on them, all the better. And I lean in a little bit closer to you. But I would like to know what Hieronymus's part in all of this is. Haraxis asked for him. He called for him. He said himself that he had more to play. And if we are to face trials, if we are to carry on down this path, we need to know what we might face. I point up at the blood red moon. This is not normal. None of this is normal. And if there's anything here, or anyone here, that would know the opposite of normal, and be able to provide some explanation, it would be a man who lives within inside another man.
You assume much.
Well, at the moment, if we make any assumptions at all, it is there, well, yes, we are to die. But I would like to go out knowing a little bit more about why.
I can appreciate that. I would even agree. At that moment, you do see Pollux just kind of duck his head and close his eyes. He's essentially trying to see if he can coax his friend out.
Whilst you do that, I slowly start to move around the space, collecting some of the splintered timber from wooden shutters that would have been on windows or whatever, and I start to collate it into a pile using one of the stone circles as a fire pit, if you like.
Yeah.
So I'm just sort of preparing to...
You're kind of breaking up the stone circles.
Yeah, and I'm trying to de-escalate the situation as well.
Because the stone circles, it's kind of like you're kind of here, and there's like you guys can't see that. You're kind of here, and then each one's like bigger and bigger and bigger. That kind of goes out like that.
Okay.
So, but you could start to like pull them apart to kind of make
I'm basically I'm sort of making it quite obvious what I'm doing as well to break the lock of eyes between the two of them.
Yeah. So he joins you.
Yeah.
And he starts doing it. He just kind of
Yeah, I
gives you
nod
a
in.
nod. So you're building a fire. You're trying to conjure the passenger. Barbie just kind of he's kind of sat by himself, kind of just looking off into the distance at the moment. You kind of, although he spoke to you for the first time, you also do get that he's probably a man of very few words anyway.
Yeah.
So but you just get that feeling. You've kind of stopped in your tracks there, Jericho. What are you doing?
Are you just collecting wood, or is there a fire going now?
You can see that I'm quite clearly in the process of building the tinder and everything to make the fire. Yeah. So and because now Sahid is also helping me. Yeah, I'm about to start trying to light it.
Jericho is going to go over to you and sort of sees what you're doing. Build it higher. Build it as high as you can. This place is defiled. Burn it to the ground.
You do not wish to rest in here.
I do not wish to be here at all, son. I know this place. Well, I know what this place once was. It's not that place anymore.
I put my hand on your shoulder and I say,
Well then, my friend, let us burn it to the ground and use it to warm our bodies outside.
and I start to strategically place kindling where I think we can get the maximum damage.
Sure.
Do we overhear this?
Yeah, I mean, you're all within earshot of each other.
So what was this place beforehand then, Jericho? If you know of it, what is it? No more secrets amongst us. By acting by ourselves, all we do is end up removing any attempts at knowing the truth, or nearly dying. What is this place?
It's the temple of my brotherhood. Well, what was once a brotherhood.
So we have not returned to the Temple of Blood. Baal's schedule is increasing.
Yeah, I look over and nod at you.
That was my thinking too. This is the first time that we have not returned to the temple after completing a trial.
At this kind of, so he does pop his head up. I am not so sure about that, my brothers. Think. Look at Nagal. This place is not in Arcadon.
None of the places we have been to have been in Arcadon, Sahid. I've said this to you many times before. We are still within the temple as such, but we are not in its little corridors and its strange dead rivers and mountains of skulls.
Everything we have done has had an effect. And he points to the scar on his face. This is new. This we got in my trial.
That you got within the Temple of Blood, not in some past experience.
I do not believe that.
This place, the whole thing is corrupt. The whole thing is playing havoc on our minds. You all saw what was in our eyes, what Haraxis showed us, the black orbs that we have seen countless times, and the beasts of the sewers, the children of the sewers, who, might I remind you, we have that on our conscience still. The men and the women of the church, and I point to Anarch's bandana, which is around my wrist. All of those innocents, or perhaps simply figments of this place. All touched by Baal and the Demriag, as are we at this point then. Which I think you all know. You can deny it all you want.
But if they were touched by the Demriag, which I think we all believe they were we not doing Baharna's justice?
At that point, I pull out my short sword and put it to my neck. Then why don't we do her justice now and end all of our lives?
Because I do not believe that I am touched by the Demriag.
Then you are a fool.
Why?
Look around you. Do you honestly think that you would not have been affected? You honestly believe the words that Chai Lang said, that we are here to protect the world, to re-imprison Baal?
Rin, a long time ago, I had a trial of my own, and I will always remember my name. I know who I am. Perhaps it is you who questions who you are.
I question who all of us are at this point. We do not know each other. We are bonded in fires of battle. That is all. None of us really know. I mean no disrespect, Jericho. You say that this is a temple of your brothers, yes?
Aye.
How are we to know that? Is my point. You believe him at face value, you do not believe Haraxis at face value. I understand that the man was a madman. I do not justify him. Do not mistake my anger for acceptance. My anger is at the entire situation that we find ourselves in, and the constant secrets that we have to uncover. It is not a case of questioning who I am. It is a case of questioning what we find ourselves in once again, and whether we are really on the side of good here, or if we are but mere pawns. And if you do not believe that you are a pawn of a god, benevolent or otherwise, then you are sorely mistaken, my friend. But I do not believe, looking around, that I see us as pawns of Bohanna at this stage.
I do not believe that Bahana would have allowed us to be here if we could not effect a greater change in some way. I am her disciple. Are we not all followers of Bahana? Would she forsake us here in this temple?
Then to put into your own words, how am I meant to believe you? Am I to take it at face value? Or shall I distrust you as you distrust everyone else around you? Apart from, might I remind you, the man who enslaved us and told us that we were to do this. You were willingly listened to Chai Lang. Haraxis? No, that was too much.
Well,
Me?
actually...
No, now it is too much. Yourself perfectly fine, and we are to take your word for it?
I have faith in all of you. We have forged our faith in each other through battle. I have seen the mark of all of you, and I have seen that there is nobility, there is honor there. This for me is enough. But if a man talks like a snake and has a serpent's tongue, such as Haraxis.
And Chai Lang?
I did not say I trusted Chai Lang, but I do trust that what we do will inevitably give us a conclusion that the fates deem necessary. Otherwise, it sounds to me that you would give up. You put a knife to your throat. You would do nothing? You would end your life here?
I would end a pawn of Baal and the Demoniag's life. As you yourself said, it is simply doing Bohanna's work.
But I am not a pawn.
Then, as I've mentioned, you are a fool. I will stand with all of you in whichever trials we may face, and whatever may come from after this. I will stand by your sides. But make no mistake, if you truly, deep down, honestly believe that what you are doing is completely righteous, completely just, and completely under the control of the benevolent gods out there, then you are no smarter than a child.
I do not believe anyone believes that what we are doing is good. However, my brother, you and your impassioned speech have given me hope. For if we were but pawns, you would not have the foresight that you do to see through this ruse.
Exactly.
It is through. The gods are gods. But they created us. And if you believe the scripture, the Demrearch, he saw us as a threat. There must be a reason for that. Perhaps we are at the will at this time of Baal.
At that point, you hear a voice come from behind you. The only will at play is our own. You turn and you see Pollux on his feet. His eyes are glowing a dim red.
Yeah, I turn to face him.
Though I will say this, if there is one person that I do not have faith in, it is you.
And I say that looking directly at the person that is not Pollux.
As I have said before, I am no threat to anyone here. Pollux has never said a false word to you or anyone.
But have you?
No?
I nudge Hakote at that. But how can we believe him?
You only believe what you choose to believe, all of us.
As I am learning.
As I say, the only will at play is our own. We see what we see, we feel what we feel, and we choose to believe what we believe.
So why did Haraxis want to talk to you so desperately? He was very intrigued when you brought yourself out to play.
Yes. But I don't know why. I have seen that all before. But only in books. I have known things. But I have never been in things, if you take my meaning. I am no threat to anyone here. And just like my friend, I simply want to go home. You think you know death? You think you know the will of the gods? Look around you. Do you think the gods, so beautiful and benevolent, would allow for such things to happen? For such suffering, misery, and destruction? What kind of gods would allow some to live long, healthy lives when the rest are left to rot and die? The only doubt I have ever had is the will of the gods. I know it blaspheme, but when you've seen what I've seen, one can only question. And therefore, the only will is our own.
I am okay with asking questions. And I am okay with answers that I do not agree with, or do not like. It is only by asking questions that we can get to the truth. If you have determined your truth, I can respect that. But this entire place is nothing but a lie. Therefore, there can be no truth here. This orb. You say you have read it in books? I suggest you remember what it is that you read.
out, if I may. As far as you're aware, Ben, as far as you're...
It's been a year.
Yeah, I see. I'm trying to remember as well, like, is this something I would have intimate knowledge about, given my... Because this isn't... I don't think this has come up before, really. I can assume that I've read about such things, but...
Yeah, it's essentially... you would recognize it as a form of communication.
Seeing stone.
Yeah, a seeing stone, effectively, is the sort of thing that you would reckon. As for the exact ins and outs of this particular one, where it came from, how Haraxis came to be in, how he came to have it or anything like that, you would have no idea.
No, exactly, yeah. Well, to that all he'll say is, what you have there is a seeing stone. I can say no more other than some tools in certain hands can be used in good or bad ways.
Then I will deal with that later, if you are unwilling to share more than that. I put it back in my pack.
Unwilling. I'm sorry, I'm unable.
I turn to Jericho. As I said, I will stand with all of you. You seem to know this place. What do we do?
You can all do whatever you want. This is my trial, which I'm presuming it is, based on where we are. This is my chance for vengeance. We may be pawns. I don't know why we're here, none of us do.
But we are together.
And we are winning.
Yes, we are.
And I'll tell you this. We will not die here. I have unfinished business. That scar of yours is new. This, he holds up his eye patch. You just see this horrible, just mess. No eye, just a hole, horribly scarred. This is old. It still burns. I can seek vengeance here. This place is death. It once stood for something. It once stood for honor, light, protection, hope. And now, he sort of regards the eye and the blood on the ground. This is an unholy place.
Then we shall cleanse it, my friend.
And I start the fire in the corner and start to walk to the exit.
It catches quite quickly. The wood is almost... It's so dry that when you add light to it, it's almost like it kind of like explodes, almost like you've added some sort of fuel to it as well. And it starts to spread quite quickly. Everyone leaves the monastery, I'm assuming. Yep.
As the flame kind of lights and kind of combusts real quickly, you can see Pollux just kind of like this. His eyes are gone back to normal. He kind of looks around as if to check what's going on, and sees what's happening and continues with.
Carries on. Very good. You all step outside of the monastery, and that is where we will leave this session.
Ooh.
Very good, very interesting times. Where are you exactly? We are about to find out. We'll be back very soon with another episode of Cast of Players, but until then, you keep being adventurers. you.